In this real review, we're going to be taking a look at the Uber Driver app, primarily focusing on the Uber Eats delivery driving side of it.
Okay, so the Uber Driver app is available both for iOS and for Android. Okay, so you can pick it up on either one. Now, I do want to clarify one thing. It's that you can actually do deliveries for Uber Eats with this app, but you can also do rides. That's where you're taking people from point A to point B with the Uber Driver app.
All right, so next I wanted to talk about the requirements for being able to deliver with Uber Eats. Okay, now as you see here, it can vary by city, but here are the main talking points. All right, number one is you need to be at least 19 years old. Number two is you need a car that's basically a 1998 model or newer. You need a valid driver's license and car insurance. In the US, you need at least 1 year of driving experience. You'll need a clean driving record with no major violations dating back 7 years. And finally, you'll need to pass a background check and a safety screening and upload a few documents, required documents upon applying. Okay. Now, another thing I do want to show you is some options you have if you don't have a car. All right. Now, you can actually deliver by scooter and you can also deliver by bicycle or on foot. Okay. I'll leave a link to this part of the website. And I'll show you one more thing as well. Okay, I'll leave a link down in the description area below. The last thing is if you want to do Uber rides, this is where you're going to be driving people from one destination to another. Okay, there are different requirements. You need a 15-year-old vehicle or newer, four-door vehicle, good condition with no cosmetic damage, no commercial branding. Okay, and the only reason I mentioned this is just because you can do a two-way thing here. You can do either the Uber Eats or you can do the Uber rides. Okay. And there are some decent bonuses with the Uber rides. I just don't do them anymore personally because I don't like people in my car, especially after this whole COVID thing.
Okay, so next I want to talk about how Uber actually pays you. Okay, I've actually gone out the last 3 days. I've gone in the middle of the day, also at night. And what I want you to notice is this. Okay, we're going to go over to earnings. We're going to go over here to see details, and we're going to go look at the breakdown. All right, so we have net fare. Okay, then we have promotions, we have tip, and then total earnings. Okay, now the net fare is basically the base pay that Uber will pay you for doing the delivery, right? These are all combined, all three deliveries I did today, so it's all in one. All right, now when it comes to promotion, that's where this boost comes in, right? So for instance, right now it's 1.7 over here in this area, which is pretty high, right? Sometimes it's 2, that's even crazier, right? So that means that if Uber usually pays you, $5, they'll pay you 10. We'll just say $2, 2.0 instead of 1.7, just to make it easy. Let's say it's 2.0 for the boost. It would be $10. They'll pay you base pay plus your tip, plus your tip, right? So that's pretty good. Okay. Now you'll see that when I went out, the boost wasn't very high. I made a net fare of $19.10. Only the promotion of 423. So maybe the boost was like at 1.1, 1.2 when I went out at lunchtime. Okay. Now the tips where I made my money, right? Actually, this is for the whole week. Sorry. Let's go back here. All right. This is just for today. So I made 626, $1.32, which is not very much in promotions, and then $13 in tip. All right. Which equal $20.58. All right. Now you might be thinking to yourself, that's not very much money. All right. Let me show you the last 3 days. So I made 20.58 today. Yesterday I made, let's see, yesterday was Tuesday, 32.28, and then 21.17. Okay, not much to sneeze at, right? But if you look here, okay, let's go. Let's take today for example, right? Let's go to Wednesday. You see, I was online 2 hours. Okay, I had 3 trips. All right. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, that's only $10.25 or something like that. That's not very much at all. It's not even really worth it, right? When you factor in gas. But let me tell you what I personally do to offset this. Don't pay too much attention to this number. This is just a part of it, right? So I actually use different apps when I'm driving. Okay. I use Grubhub. I use DoorDash. I use Instacart. I use another one called Shipt. And this is what I recommend when you're doing delivery driving, especially if you're just doing part time. I recommend you get other apps. In fact, even if you're doing full time, I recommend you get other apps. Okay. So let me show you. For instance, I know this is really looking into Uber Eats, but let's look at something else, right? Let's look at the other stuff I did, right? Today I also got $7.89 from Grubhub just from one little delivery. So that's 7.89. That adds to the pot. Right, let's go over to let's see, it's Instacart. Right, I did one delivery for Instacart, made $25.30. It was actually a pretty good one. All right, So 25, what was it, 25.30? 25.30. All right, now we're at 33.19. Now we can go back to Uber, add the $20.58. Okay, so plus 20.58. All right, now 53.77, looking a little better for 2 hours. Now, I will tell you one thing. If you want to the cool thing about Uber is that you can get your money out right away. If I wanted to go cash out, I could. I could go here, cash out. I got $76.45 and cash out. They charge you 50 cents every time you cash out. All right. So let's say I say, hey, you know what? I'm going to cash out. It's going to be minus 50 cents. All right. All right, we'll factor that in there. All right. Now, if we want to get even more technical with it, right, learning how much we actually make with this, let's say that I was like, well, I'm going to guesstimate that I use $5 in gas, right, today, just driving around for 12 to about 2 o'clock. That's really what it was. Let's say I use $5 in gas. So we'll subtract $5 minus 5, 48.27. We're going to do this divided by 2 for 2 hours. Now you're looking at $24.14 per hour. Not too bad, right? That's after gas, okay? But before taxes. So that's another thing you have to factor in as well. So just showing you the real numbers, how that really works out, okay? Now, I do want to clarify one more thing is I said that amount was before taxes. What I mean there is when you're working for Uber, you're not an employee. You're pretty much self-employed. Okay, so you don't have they're not taking money out of your stuff. You're getting the gross pay. All right, just remember that. Okay. Now, I did mention earlier that there's one cool thing about Uber Eats. Okay, and I'm going to show you that right now. So if we go to earnings, we're going to go to my day yesterday. We're going to go to Tuesday. See details. Let's go over to Tuesday. All right. Now let me show you what is really neat about Uber Eats. Uber Eats has this thing where when people you know when you do a delivery, you can actually get tipped more than what was on there. Right? So if you do a really good job, then people will can actually tip you more. All right. You may have even noticed this as a consumer. So if you look here, all right, you'll see $12.76, and then it says here, it asks you if you want to send them a thanks. I will always do that. Okay. It's like it's blue here, and then it grays out when you actually send it out. Now it says the estimate for this trip was $10.76, including an upfront tip, and the customer tipped you even more after the delivery. Nice. All right. So that's the important thing about Uber Eats is that people can tip you more. I've had people tip me $10 extra. I even had like $20 extra, but that's a double-edged sword, okay? Because people can take away tip as well. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that might sound scary, but don't even worry about it because 99 out of 100 people will tip you good and maybe not even that many. I think I maybe have not have had somebody take away a tip and lessen it maybe three or four times out of the, you know, 500, 600 deliveries I've done. Whatever that percentage is, that's pretty much what it is. Okay. It sucks when it happens, but it's just the name of the game, right? The good is going to heavily outweigh the bad when it comes to tipping with Uber Eats. Now, with that being said, there's also a little bit of gamification and a couple of perks with Uber Eats. All right. So number one is that if you look here, all right, you see how there's 9 points, three trips completed, 9 points. All right. And it has like a little gold diamond there. Now there are different levels to Uber Eats. Okay. Basically means that you can unlock perks and such. So for instance, right now I just unlocked gold. All right. When I got to 100, I think it is, you get these rewards, right? So let's see what that actually does, right? I can earn 93 more points, give great service to unlock platinum rewards. And just go see the details. So I'm at 107. If I get to 200, I'll get to platinum. So you see here, this is why I did it. Had a high satisfaction rate. Everybody loves me. All right, so the first level is green, then it goes to gold, then platinum, then diamond. So if you do a lot of delivering and you get all the way up to diamond, you get even more perks, right? So let's see what I've got right now. So this is kind of cool. You can actually learn a language with Rosetta Stone. There's discounted dental and vision plans, right? Because you're not an employee. You can get insurance through here if you want to. There's TurboTax because like I said, you're not an employee. You're gonna do taxes as a self-employed. Free health savings account, pretty cool. Tuition coverage at ASU Online. You can look at all this stuff yourself, but the important ones here are things like 24/7 roadside assistance, and let's see what else they got here. I don't even use it. Free snacks and check this out. Free snacks with purchase at 7-Eleven. That's kind of cool. So you can actually go to 7-Eleven, get some free stuff. All right. Pretty cool. You can look into that. And when you get to Diamond, there's even more stuff. Let's see. You get a Costco Gold Car membership. All right, kind of cool. All right, so there's a little bit of gamification there, a little bit of perks and such. That's kind of neat. And you can even, another thing you can do, you can even rent cars with Uber. Let's see if it comes up here. Don't think it will. Let's see here. Oh, check this out. So right here, you see where it says promotion. You earn a $50 when you complete 5 trips. That's on the Uber ride side of things. That's when you're driving people from one place to another. Okay, so you could try that out. You could do that, see if you like that yourself. If you have a car that's eligible for that, I'd say try it out, see if it's for you. That's not really for me. I just really don't want anybody in my car. And yeah, just not really my bag of chips. All right, but if you look here, I'm gonna go to my inbox and let's see where it's at. So if you look here, there's something about, oh, here it goes. All right, see this little star right here? Still thinking about renting a car to drive with Uber? You can actually rent cars, right? They're not always available, right? So it's 260 a week. That's pretty expensive, but if you're gonna be driving full time with Uber, it may be worth it for you, and it won't break the bank because sometimes they charge. You rent a car, it might be $100 per day, right? So let's see if there's anything available near me. Probably not. I think I've checked this before. And no, I'm not going to do that. You can submit a form and get on the wait list if nothing's available at that time. But I actually thought about it before when I had my car getting fixed. Just another thing that's available to you at times with Uber, depending on where you are, right? I live in Texas in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so this is specific to my area, but I think it's going to be some similarities in other cities. Okay.
All right. So in this last part, I just want to give you some parting tips on how to make more money, delivery driving for Uber Eats. Okay. Now, the first and biggest thing is right here. All right. Oh, I don't know what I just did there, but download other delivery apps. Okay. As I said earlier, use something like Grubhub. Use something like DoorDash. I would start off with those two. DoorDash and Grubhub are great apps as well. They're not as busy as Uber Eats. DoorDash is, but DoorDash tends to pay less. Um, I won't go into them. I just letting you know that you should experiment with those two apps if you can. I use other grocery delivering apps as well. So for instance, I use Instacart, I use Shipped. All right. You can experiment with all those if they're available in your area or something comparable. Okay. There's other stuff like Favor, GoPuff. You can experiment with all these apps and just see how they work with you. They generally tend to accept you pretty easily if you've already been accepted with one, right? It's really about making a or passing a background check. All right. Now, main thing here, guys, if you're going to do delivery driving, is go at peak hours, right? 11 to 2 p.m. That's the lunch hour. 5 to 9 p.m. That's the dinner hour. It may be different. I'd say go out and try this, and then maybe 12 to 2 works better, right? That's when it's really busy, right? Maybe 6 to 9 works better, or maybe 5 to 8 works better, right? Go experiment, but for the most part, these are pretty standard times to go out and do delivery driving, right? All right, next, try to get $2 per mile driven. Okay, this is important here, right? Because this is going to make you get a higher per hour average, right? Wage or whatever, if you can call it that, right? I say, if you have to go 5 miles, try to get about $10 if you can, or close to that, right? That's what I would recommend. But with that said, I'm gonna jump over to this side because it's very relatable. Is also try not to take orders that are under $7, right? I know I'm kind of jumping ship over here, but that's just because it's so related to this. I probably should have put it over here. If you're taking $5 orders, you're gonna have to take 5 orders in order to make $25 per hour. That's really my goal. Is trying to get close to $25 to $30 per hour. And if have to take 5 orders, that's just leaving it to chance too much, right? The restaurants are going to take 10 to 15 minutes sometimes, right? Sometimes it take 30 minutes, right? And you'll have to cancel it and go do something else, right? You're like, okay, I've been here 10 minutes. Am I going to wait another 10? Sometimes they'll tell you, hey, it's only going to be another 5 minutes, but you have to factor that stuff in, right? Take $7 plus orders, try to get more bang for your buck. Ideally, of course, we all want to get $10 orders that only go 2 miles, but that doesn't always happen, okay? But just on a general consensus, if that's the right word to use, try to stick to $7 plus orders, right? Now, here's a big one. Stay away from most drive-through late at night, okay? I'm talking Whataburger, if you're here in Texas, Whataburger. And stay away from that stuff. McDonald's, because what happens is they close their lobbies, or they close their restaurant, the inside of the restaurant, their store, they call it, and then you get stuck in the drive-through with other people that are ordering, and you could be there for quite a while, and then even if you have an order ready, you can't even pick it up, and it sucks. All right. Next thing is take extra stuff whenever you can. It can help with tips. This is really good. Take Parmesan, take red peppers, take napkins, straws, hot sauce from Taco Bell. Take that stuff, right? Because and just pretend that this is your order, right? And you're gonna make it great for them, right? And then trust me, with Uber Eats, as I said earlier, they tip you after the fact. They remember the stuff. All right. You usually get, an extra $2, extra $3. That stuff adds up. Sometimes they'll give you cash tips too, right? So that's pretty cool. All right. Now try not to drive too far off, right? This is very important because what happens if you drive too far, you might not be in a busy area where whatever you end up, right? And then you have to drive back, and maybe that's another 15-20 minute trip that cuts into your time, right? And then you're out there longer, and maybe you only make $15 per hour that hour because you drove out too far, couldn't take another delivery trip. Or maybe you can get something on the way back. That's what the ideal thing would be. Over time, you're gonna perfect this stuff, right? You're gonna be like, okay, I know that over here sometimes kind of busy in this area, I can get back over closer to downtown or something like that, right? All right, now communicate with your customer. This is another customer service thing, right? Tell them that you're leaving, right? That you're leaving the restaurant, you have their order, you're on your way, right? If there's substitutions you have to make, call them and say, hey, they don't have Coke, but I can get you a Dr. Pepper, stuff like that, right? Communicate with them, let them know what's going on, even if something is not good news, right? Let's say the restaurant's taking a while, let them know. That way they know it's not your fault and that these things happen, and they appreciate that. Okay, just letting you know. All right. Last thing is call ahead for gate codes, placing orders, special instruction. This is very important, right? Sometimes if you get place order deliveries with Uber, they pay more. I don't personally do these, but they do pay more. They take longer. That's why. Okay, so what you can do to offset that time is call ahead on the way there. Of course, be careful and such, right? And then maybe it'll be ready by the time you get there. Okay, and that's what I would recommend is just calling ahead whenever you can, right? Let's say somebody has a special gate code or special instructions for getting to their house, or sometimes people are in a hotel and they want to meet you in the lobby and they don't want to know their room number. That's something you might want to communicate with them, because sometimes they won't put it all in the app, or sometimes they will put it in the app, and just make sure and read that stuff. And if you're missing anything, call them up, right? Call them up. They want their food. All right. So those are my tips as a driver myself, and things I would tell anybody that wants to start this. I hope you get something out of it. And if you did get something out of this video, please leave us a thumbs up. All right. Comment below if you have any thoughts or any tips of your own to add, any concerns, anything like that. And please consider subscribing to the channel, ringing the bell for future video notifications. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.